sound of this locomotive carrying a peculiar load across the Rio Grande Valley represents two things: energy in motion and the future motion of energy. In a way, what propels this train is a demand for the supply of a world-coveted gas, that being shale gas, and its value derives from its origin and method of extraction. It's a combustible fuel found deep inside the pores of shale rock located more than 6,000 feet underground. But accessing it had been impossible until this last decade thanks to the advances in drilling techniques called hydraulic fracturing or fracking.
Hydrofracturing is breaking up shale rock to access hydrocarbons, mostly in the natural gas, sometimes oil. In this area, it's going to be natural gas, in order to access energy that we haven't been able to access before.
A powerful drill digs a vertical hole until it reaches the rocky layer before it takes a 90-degree turn and continues drilling horizontally, then shooting large quantities of a solution of water, sand, and chemicals at high pressure, fracturing the shale and releasing its valuable gas. Such activity has been replicated numerous times. This map shows the Texas Railroad Commission's issuance of well permits over the last 5 years along the Eagle Ford Formation in South Texas, transforming townspeople into millionaires overnight, creating hundreds of jobs and a modern-era gold rush.
We have seen that a lot of the increase in the population has been in areas such as the Great Plains and the Gulf Coast, which is probably related to the increase in the industries for oil and gas.
According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, the country comes second in shale gas reserves in the world after China, Texas being the largest producer nationwide. Hundreds of drilling platforms exist in Texas to access this natural gas, and so vast is the reserve that a major pipeline is underway to fuel Mexico's industries. The last stop for this commercial train is Rio Grande City, at the edge of South Texas border, where the longest natural gas pipeline in North America will cross through into Mexico. 124 miles of an underground duct, over half of it under Starr County.
This is a highly heavy and investment project, and therefore the valuation for the taxing entities is going to be quite substantial when the project is completed. And moving forward, the construction aspect of any project allows local communities to benefit from an increase in sales tax while the construction is going on.
Benavides says the county has been working on the project for over 2 years, and already the area has shown gains, with one of the beneficiaries being Samuel Vale, who was presented with a business opportunity to transport the materials needed for the construction of the pipeline project dubbed Net Mexico, which will generate profits not only for the U.S., but Mexico as well.
When Mexico opens the valve on this pipeline, it will immediately double their national capacity for natural gas.
Vale is one of the key players in the logistics of the project. Being the owner of an international bridge and a local railroad, he facilitates the exchange of merchandise that will help export the gas into Mexico, which is now possible after the southern neighbor ratified its energy reform bill in December, to allow the participation of the private sector in the generation of electricity.
The pipeline will allow them to invest an additional $16 billion over the next 3 years in order to create additional manufacturing operations, which purchase parts in the United States, ship them down through our border ports of entry into Mexico, assemble them into a product, then ship them back.
Mexico is on the threshold of opening up its energy production to private sectors, maybe including private sectors from outside of Mexico. That's going to be a huge game changer for the country of Mexico and for the United States.
The outlook of the Republican Party favorite for Texas governor is a window into the future, with no intention of stopping a locomotive that continues to gain traction.
I think, frankly, it's going to be a tremendous program for Mexico, for the citizens of Mexico, and for the energy sector as a whole. And I think that Texas will benefit from it also.
But how can we be sure the road this machine is taking, transporting the future of energy, is one that will lead to the country's prosperity?
When you hear about earthquakes in North Texas, when you hear about risk to the water table and risk to our environment, we've got to take that seriously.
If we continue to extract this energy, in 30 years we will extract as much as we have in the last 150 years.
Join us tomorrow night for the second half of this special report. For Fox 2 News, Oscar Margain reporting.